So I've been thinking about conflict, and so many of us are afraid to have those difficult conversations when we know that there's conflict involved. In fact, often we walk the other way or we let it fester till we blow, and then there's secondary damage. So today, I want to share with you a tool I've created to help you work through a conversation proactively and effectively when you need to have a crucial conversation and you know conflict is present. So I want to start with a story my grandfather used to tell me. He had a farm in Kansas and they had cattle. And I remember when a storm was coming one time, and I was young, second grade maybe. And I remember him saying, "Watch the cows. They're going to walk away from the storm." And he said, in fact, they would continue walking if there wasn't a fence across states until that storm resolved itself on its own. I remember him telling me that buffalo are the exact opposite. He said, in fact, buffalo will face and walk into the storm. And in that way, the storm and the buffalo pass and they have much less time being afraid because they've faced it head on. So I have an acronym to inspire you to act like a buffalo. The acronym is for fear. Face everything and rise. So I'm encouraging you today to rise to the challenge of having a difficult conversation. So I want to share with you my conflict grand slam. It's summer, so I'm thinking about baseball, and I created the grand slam to help tie to something you already know, the steps of how to prepare a crucial conversation. So, step one's in the dugout. So this is where you're preparing. You're thinking about the conversation, and in this stage, you get really clear on what do you think, how do you feel, and what do you actually want. If you don't know how you feel, the best trick is to ask yourself, who's pissing me off and what's pissing me off? That usually will get you there very quickly. The second step is the on-deck circle. And in the on-deck circle, you're thinking about your mindset. How do you show up with a positive mindset? And how can you create safety for yourself and the other person? So think through, what's the very worst reaction? And I'm using reaction on purpose, not response. So if the other person reacts, they get defensive or they blow up, what can you do to make sure you're safe? If you actually think they're going to verbally explode, then have another person in the room with you. If it's more subtle, like they'll get defensive and they won't connect with you, then think about saying, as part of your opening, I want to collaborate with you. I want to be able to, from this moment forward, have a great working relationship. Due to this conversation, I want to create safety so we can come to each other and vulnerably work things out. That's what trust is about. Next, you're up to bat. It's your turn. It's the first time that we step out of our internal self-awareness and into engaging the other person. So when you're up, I recommend that you have a script. You have an opening line or two where you state your intention and the purpose and your success outcomes that you want for the conversation. I have a couple things that I would recommend. For example, you could say, I want you to know that I care about you and the success of this company. I'd like to have a conversation to understand what's going on because I'm confused and concerned. It's a great way to state and engage the other team. You also could ask permission. I'd really like your help. Would you be willing to help me with this? All right, first phase is all about listening, asking for their perspective. What do they think is going on? And the acronym here is WAIT. So when I think about WAIT, I love this as an acronym for when you're asking someone on your team for information. It stands for, why am I talking? Be quiet, listen, use reflective listening skills, use I statements if you have to. Second phase then is sharing your perspective. And again, be as self-reflective as possible. Share facts. What did you see? What's the behavior? What's the impact? Financial impact, impact on the team, impact you see on them, and impact on you. And then what you would like for the resolution when you share. Third base is let's get to the root cause and collaborate. A great tool for getting to the root cause is the 5 whys. So the 5 whys is asking, why is this happening? Get the answer, go deeper. Take that down 5 times to the deepest level of what is really at the root cause of this issue. And finally, bringing it home, bases loaded to a grand slam home run. Celebrate coming up with a successful resolution. And you know me, if you've been watching me, we want to add the action steps. So we're going to celebrate, but we're also going to add action, which is who's going to do what by when, how will we know, and what's the date that we're going to check back in on this. And the reason why is simple. Research shows if you answer those 4 or 5 simple questions, who's going to do what by when and how will we know, it increases the likelihood that those things will happen by 400%. So that's easy. Just end the conversation with that, and you have officially knocked it out of the park. Good luck with this. Reach out if you need help. This is what we do, and we can help you solve any conflict effectively and collaboratively.